Um, Born in Danville, raised in Somerset.
Oh, really?
Basically, yeah, from the third grade
Where in
on.
Somerset?
On Oak Street and Ogden Street.
Okay,
So,
my
right down from the school is Oak. That's been so long.
It's
I
been
graduated in 1961. That's been a year or two
They
ago.
weren't there, so then you left there pretty quickly.
I went to Atlanta. I went to
In Marietta.
Patricia Stevens Modeling School in Atlanta
Okay.
and modeled a little, but not much. But, well, I got married. You know, fell in love with the guy across the street from my aunt. So we got married, had 3 children. Oh, we have 3 children. And eventually, I think we were married 8 years. And I was just young and impressionable and left and went back to Somerset and then came up here to Lexington and then ended up moving to North Carolina.
You still were married, or
No,
Okay.
we divorced
Okay.
and then moved up to North Carolina or over to and worked at Dorothea Dix, the state mental hospital there. I was on some kind of a program where we went to class half a day and worked on the ward the other half. And, I liked it and learned a lot, but once I got married, we moved from Raleigh to Randleman, which is about the size of your pinky. It's just a little small town. And I had a daughter. And, excuse me, I stayed there 3 years, almost 4. And my husband was an abuser, so I just couldn't subject my children to that or myself. So I left there and came up here and been here ever since. Just, working and living, That's basically it.
So you obviously qualify to live here because you have a hard time making ends meet.
Oh, I can't make ends meet. Back to why I'm here. I'm a senior citizen, and I had a caregiver. Unfortunately, she and her boyfriend turned out to be caretakers. I don't really know how they did it, with the exception that he worked at a store where he could cash checks. But somehow they spent my checks that I got, it's survivor's benefits. And, I should be doing well. And among the people I've talked to, I probably get survivor's benefits, Social Security survivors, more than most of them do. But I don't know. The mail was going to her address, and she was keeping the mail. She didn't send me bank statements. I don't have bank statements from that period of time at all. Of course, I wouldn't have them now anyway. They'd been in my purse, and that was stolen. So, but anyway.
And when did this all happen? Like, when did things turn? When was she taking money?
From like October, I think it was. At least a year ago. It may have been 2 years. I'm not real. I just never paid attention. It was just the fourth Wednesday of the month my check came.
Your Social Security check.
Right. Social Security, my husband's survivor's benefits, yeah.
So he died.
Yes.
And that's what you lived on.
Yeah, well, it was plenty for me. I don't know if I should say how much. Now,
No. Where were you living?
I lived with my sister for a while. She lives here. And then I got an apartment. But, well, no, that was before this. My husband had a house. And when he died, the house, of course, went to me. So that's where I lived, in the house. But I had along with my job as a bookkeeper receptionist for a contractor, I got this. I totally forgot where I was going.
No, fine. You were working as a bookkeeper?
At, well, two well-known establishments here. And, for a lot of years. But unfortunately, I also, well, my daughter was killed in a car wreck when she was 17. And that just kind of, I think that was the beginning of this downward spiral, because I always drank some, but I just started really drinking. And then, of course, hit retirement age, but I think probably more than that. I think that when you drink as much as I did, that you can shower or whatever you want, but eventually that alcohol smell.
No.
So I feel like they felt like I was sitting there smelling like a brewery. And I don't know why, other than the fact, maybe the alcohol or the fact that I'm retirement age. I don't know why, but when I lost my job is when I lost my will.
You're a good example of this can happen to anyone.
Oh, good. I think so. I had someone ask me about poverty and about homelessness, and I told him, I said, I don't know a thing about it. It never occurred to me, and I didn't know it existed. There was one guy in Somerset that we knew had, everybody knew had some kind of problems. I hate to say it, but they called him Dirty Bill. And my daddy was at a grocery store, and he used to bring food home for Bill to take to feed his family. And I don't know if he had a home or if he was, I don't know much about him. I just know that he was, not kept. He was not kept clean. He was,
And now you're...
and he's the only one I know. Oh yeah, and I've learned an awful lot because I graduated in '61, so therefore, about the most damage we could do, alcohol or marijuana. Well, the drug scene is something else here. It really is. And I didn't know about it. I just flat didn't know.
What do you think Lexington is a welcoming place for people struggling?
Not really. Not the establishment. Some of the nicest people I've met are the people that are at the shelter, the homeless shelter. Some of them are just really nice people. And when I first got there, I hadn't gotten sticker shock yet or whatever it's called. And, I would think, but for the grace of God, anybody can end up like this. But, I was robbed. I was robbed twice, not only by the woman that was supposed to be my caregiver and her boyfriend, but by this girl that adopted me from the shelter. And she was just taking real good care of me. She was taking care of my money. I got my benefits the fourth Wednesday of the month, and the first month I don't know if she took them or if but I know that they were stolen. I had them under the pillow in the motel, or hotel actually, and got drunk, and it was gone when I woke up. And the second month, I picked up my check on Wednesday, cashed it, and that money was spent before Friday. Now, I know that she bought me a bottle, and she bought herself a bottle, and then was in and out the rest of the night. And I think it was drugs. I know she had been in jail for drugs. So I guess that's what it was. But it was just, I was so blessed and naive. I just didn't know that people did this stuff. I didn't know they treated people like that.
And now?
Oh, well, now I know. Now I'm a whole lot, I'll be a whole lot more careful, but there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, if you get paid once a month, you get paid once a month. You have to wait for your payday. So these people are nice enough.
If you didn't have this house, where would you be tonight?
The community inn, the homeless shelter. It's where the only place I could go.
You have no money.
I don't have a dime. The last 13 cents I had, I gave it to the girl who ripped me off because her little niece collects pennies, and it was 13 pennies, so I just gave it to her. I mean, you can't buy Coke with 13 cents. So no, I've depended on I've had to depend on other people.
Do you hate that feeling?
Oh my God. I feel so guilty. Oh, and I got sick too. It rained about a month ago, maybe, and I was out in it all day. Came in absolutely frozen to death and drenched. And then I got, see, my voice isn't right yet.
Just, it's hard once you get down to get back.
Yeah, because I've been good and sick for over 2 weeks, but I am on the mend now. I just hope my voice comes back. And I am taking antibiotics too. So maybe it will. I hope. But it's a bummer. It's the pets. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Scary.
Not only scary, but you just stay on the edge of your seat. But you know, you're afraid to go to the door. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen, and my mind won't stop. Now, during the day, I can watch TV or something, and my mind just. But boy, I lay down at night and bang, right to what are you going to do now? You know, is that check going to come today? You know, it's just stuff that you don't want to think about when you're trying to go to sleep. So I live on a little cough syrup that helps me sleep, but I need it anyway, so that's okay.